So today we're going to be reacting to this video called How We Ruined Our 20s. I will leave a link down in the description. Let's just give it a go.
The 20s, an interval of time often described as the most beautiful, but I believe that statement is incorrect.
It's incorrect now. It used to be amazing, but the way everything is now, you know what I mean.
20s are best described as the most memorable interval of our lives, and for many of us, the most challenging. Although the term 20
Yeah, of course, it's the most memorable and the most challenging at the same time. You get your first relationship. You get your first job, maybe you go to college. Obviously, there's a lot to remember.
20s typically refers to ages 20 to 29, I think it's more accurate to say that for many people, their 20s actually begins around 17 or 18 years old. It's during this time that you often get your first job, experience your first serious relationship.
Literally what I just said.
Most importantly, the first moments of realizing that adult life isn't as beautiful as many people had previously portrayed.
100%.
It's common to feel unprepared for this transition from teen to adult, as society often glamorizes youth while neglecting to portray the challenges that come with adulthood. We're taught to expect that once we finish school or reach a certain age, life will automatically be great, but eventually reality sets in.
Life will automatically become great. So basically, what we've learned is that you go to school, you get a job, or you go to school, then you go to, say, college, and you get a job, and then automatically life will be great. It's not anymore.
After a few parties or weeks of hanging out, you start to notice that things aren't really going as planned. What's next? You start to ask yourself, attempting to find an answer to what you want to do with your life, or more challenging, what your purpose in life is. For these kinds of questions, it's almost impossible to find answers when you're young. Others, who are much older, may offer suggestions.
That's a weird thing, like, what's your purpose in life, right? Like, it's weird now because we live in such, like, a society where everyone just goes for materialistic things and the whole purpose of life. A lot of people don't really find that, I feel, anymore.
But do they really know what you want or what your purpose is? No. That's why you end up going to university, even if you never really wanted to go.
100%.
And pursuing a degree that you never want to use in your life.
I went to college for 2 years. I got a business degree. Haven't used it.
But that's also why you end up working 2 or 3 bad jobs at the same time, which can really mess with your mental health. Of course,
Andrew Tate.
it would be easier if there was a trusted route to happiness or a goal assigned to you from the moment you were born. However, these people...
Okay, a goal assigned to you from the moment you're born, right? So basically, you spawn in and you're told to go to school, and you go to school and you're basically just given this thing automatically, like school is a job or whatever. You go to school and then you go to high school, and then right after high school you're kind of just left with you're on your own, you know? Like, you could go to college or university, you could just hop right into a job, but I would say like 17, 18 is where you really are kind of almost left on your own without a path to go on, because our whole lives we've had, you know, you just spawn in, you're a kid, you know nothing, and then all of a sudden you have to go to school, you have to do this, you have to do that, and then 17, 18, you're on your own, and that's pretty much about it. And they didn't really teach you how to be on your own.
People who seem to have been born with a clear goal likely had it placed in their minds by their parents. But what if they never truly wanted...
That's another thing too, like some parents almost force their kids in a way, like, you're gonna be a doctor, or you're gonna be part of my business or whatever, right? So some kids kind of already have what's coming next, but some don't.
To pursue that goal.
Like me.
I believe it's important to discover what we love on our own, regardless of how difficult it may be. In the end, you'll know for certain that it's your genuine desire and exactly what you like. We don't have time to make decisions or...
The problem with this statement is, like, yeah, you got to pursue what you like, and whatever your passion is, you got to do that. But a lot of people's passion is something that doesn't make a lot of money. So say, for example, you like playing guitar or singing, right? The odds of you becoming extremely famous and viral and this and that and making a ton of money from that is pretty slim. And even something, say, you want to become like a YouTuber, right? Like, the odds of you actually making a career and a living out of that is pretty slim compared to other jobs, right? You could just get like a regular job, or you could go work, you could go to university and become a doctor or something and end up making a lot more money than your passion. But we're supposed to chase this passion all of the time. It could be a side hustle, but
figure out what we truly enjoy. At age 17, you're already choosing which industry to pursue at university. By the time we finish university around age 22, we're expected to immediately
age 22 finishing university. So you finish high school 18, 19, 20, 20. I don't think you're done unless you're in like a degree like mine where it was 2 years, 3 years.
find a job, hopefully related to our degree.
That's the problem, right? So you finish university, college, you got this degree, and you go apply for a bunch of jobs. It doesn't really matter. Like you realize that it really doesn't matter. They want experience, or you kind of have to know somebody in the industry to really get into one of these good jobs, right? That's just pretty much how it is now, right? Like you go spend all this money, college, university, and then you go for a job, and it's like there's 1,000 other people in the same spot as you applying for the same job, because we all got taught to go to school, go to university, college, do this. So there's thousands and thousands of people doing the exact same thing now. So it's very, very hard to get into the industry.
Sadly, it's usually only around age 21 or 22 that we start to understand our true passions and desires in life. This realization often comes far too late. We may have found what we love, but what about
so say you found what you love and what you want to do and what you're good at say like 14, 15. Maybe you'd be a lot more ahead than the typical, like, what did they just say, 21, 22?
all the time and money spent on university by our parents? We start to prioritize what's best for others rather than ourselves. Did I really spend all this time for no reason? Usually, after asking such questions, people forget their true interests and try to build a career based on the degree they received. My unpopular opinion is, I think it would be better for most people to take a 1 or 2 year break after finishing school before.
That is exactly what I did. So like right when I finished high school, I took a 2-year break and kind of just worked at my job. I was a supervisor at Burger King, and I kind of just worked there full time and just chilled, did what I wanted to do. And I realized a lot of the stuff that I like doing in life. Like I realized my passion a lot more, which was video creation. I have a channel where I have about 35,000 subscribers, and I make a little bit of money from that, right? But I realized what I really like doing in life, and that's just, being myself, hanging out. And I realized that money doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Like if you have a spot to live, you have everything you need, that money really doesn't matter. So it's like, for me anyways, right? Like I don't need to become a doctor. I don't need to make $200,000-$300,000 a year. I just want to be happy and, go to a job and, do a little side hustles or whatever on the side and kind of just get by and be fine with that. But like a lot of people aren't fine with that. So it's kind of one of those things. So we'll just keep continuing this.
Before going to university, this time can be used to understand what you really like and need.
Yeah.
Of course, that time may still not be enough to fully understand yourself, but
100%.
you'll likely make a better choice than you would after graduation. This video will most likely...
So basically what this guy is saying is like, you're 17 years old in high school, and right away you say, I'm going to become a doctor or whatever it is, right? And you go to university and you have, thousands and thousands of dollars of debt now, and you go to university and all of a sudden you realize 2 to 3 years in, this is not for me. You're already say $60,000, $70,000 in debt, and you didn't get a degree. And this is what a lot of people are facing right now, right? It's kind of insane.
Likely be named across the lines of something like how to waste your 20s. So I'll provide main reasons how people waste their 20s and how to avoid them. The first point is that you need to be ready to fail. The number of failures that await you in your 20s will likely exceed the number.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of true, right? Like the more you fail, the more you learn. So you try something out and you fail at it and you realize that's not for you, or whatever it is, right? Whatever it might be, starting a YouTube channel, a job, a relationship, right? You try a relationship and you fail, and you kind of like learn from that experience, right? But the odd time you will get a W and win. And that's kind of the whole point of it, right? You're not going to win every time. The winning is very rare compared to the losing, right?
Number of successes. Many people say that your 20s are a time for making mistakes, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
You're just starting out in almost every important aspect of your life, from relationships to your interests. You've already made a lot of mistakes, and you'll continue to do so in the future.
100%.
The worst thing you can do is hide from everyone in an attempt to avoid making any mistakes. You need to be ready to make them and accept that mistakes are important for your character building. Second one is the lack of motivation. This can stem from various reasons, such as having high expectations that don't match reality.
Yeah, high expectations definitely make sense. We have like social media now where we see everyone that is rich and this and that and living the best lives. So we kind of like set ourselves higher than like previous generations would have.
Or being convinced that you won't succeed, no matter how hard you try. Regardless of the reason, motivation is crucial for fueling ourselves and achieving our goals. Without it, we might end up stuck in one place for too long. If I'm being honest, motivation is something that doesn't even exist. It's more about your personality and how you react to certain events in your life. Everyone struggles to find the strength to do something at times, but you can't let that go on forever. Once you understand why you lack motivation and what you can do to find it, you'll soon forget what motivation even is. Third one is wrong goal setting. I believe there's no one-size-fits-all strategy for setting goals. It's individual and depends on what you want from life. But what I can say for sure...
Yeah, that's true, right? So if like your goal is to say become like fit at the gym, right? If that's like your goal and you just say, I'm going to get jacked at the gym and go to the gym every day or whatever, it's not going to happen unless you actually make it happen. Like you're the change in the world that you want, right? So like if I'm serious about going to the gym and getting jacked, it will happen. But if I just say that and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it, and then I just continue to eat McDonald's every day and just sleeping in till 2 p.m., it's not going to happen. Like you can make it happen.
Or is that having any goal is better than having no goal at all. When you have a goal, you spend less time thinking about motivation and more time focusing on how to achieve it. However,
yeah, that's true, right? If you set yourself a goal and you actually stick to it, all the other bad stuff you won't think about as much because you're so focused on that one goal.
choosing a goal isn't the hard part. The challenge lies in making a plan to reach it. At this stage,
100%.
sometimes choose the wrong path. While most can easily imagine the end result, they struggle to envision the steps leading up to it.
So we all just are like, yeah, the end result is exactly what I want. But this is the part that's very, very hard to do, is actually getting to that goal, right? So say you're trying to quit nicotine for an example, right? You want to quit it and you see the end goal of you just not even craving it anymore, right? You smoke your last cigarette here, and then it's just like, here you're like, I want another cigarette. Here, I really want one. But you got to get to this point to complete it, right? And a lot of people won't ever get to that point.
So when setting a goal, it's essential to also create a step-by-step plan on how to reach it. Without it, it will be more challenging to reach your goal. Structuring is also a very good skill to learn, which I recommend you start doing right now. To show how these reasons can ruin your 20s, I thought for about 20 minutes about which fictional character could represent this the best. In my mind, no character seemed more fitting than Squidward. Squidward is undoubtedly the most depressing character in the entire SpongeBob universe. His character embodies even more reasons for how we ruin our lives, but I've already discussed them in a recent video. Now,
he's my favorite character, bro.
The main reasons I mentioned earlier. Squidward had dreams of becoming a professional musician and spent most of his youth in music classes. However, after one unsuccessful performance, Squidward was completely devastated. After just one...
I guess that can happen too, right? So like, if you have a goal to do something and then you try it and you fail, you automatically think you could never get better at it, or you know what I mean? Like you go in the talent show or you do something and you fail, and then you're so humiliated that you just never try again. I feel like a lot of people do this with, say, YouTube or say TikTok or one of these social media apps. They say, I'm going to become this, upload one video, oh, my friend found out, delete my channel type shit. You got to just keep going and try. If you're really passionate about it, keep trying.
One failure, he decided to give up on his goal, avoiding any future chances of reaching it to escape future failures. He began losing motivation to do anything and ended up at his hated job just to avoid thinking about his failed aspirations.
100% everyone.
Lifelong dream.
Squidward is literally like the typical 45-year-old right now. It's insane.
failed because he didn't understand that behind the glamorous image of a musician lies hard work, numerous rejections, and failures for which he was
100%. I have, like I said, I had like a 35K subscriber YouTube channel, and like I'll read some of the comments that I get to like my girlfriend, and she's like, I don't know how you do this. And I'm like, yeah, but you have to understand 90% of them are good. It's only 5 to 10% that are just like, go kill yourself or do this or do that. And it's just like, you just have to ignore those people, man. And that's kind of the same with everything. And the older I get, the more I realize that really no one gives a fuck.
wasn't prepared. As a result, Squidward found himself stuck in his hated job, surrounded by people he despised with all his heart. In conclusion, I want to emphasize that TikTok or any other platform isn't truly destroying our lives. TikTok is simply a tool for spending time like...
It's not, as much as I hate saying this, it's not the platforms, it's us doing it to ourselves.
any other activity. You can spend 2 or 3 hours a day on TikTok if you really want to.
Yep.
This video isn't about extreme self-improvement
Perfect
trends seen
example
on
there.
YouTube where you're told to delete TikTok to become better. It's a video about you and how you approach
I've
life.
never
None of
downloaded
us were
TikTok.
prepared for what your 20s had in store. But there's no point in trying to escape all the problems that arise as you grow up. As soon as you start to face them and look for solutions, these problems won't seem as daunting as they do now. No matter how successful some people may seem, they likely made more mistakes than many others combined.
A lot,
There's no
yeah.
better time to make mistakes and start working towards your long-held goals. These mistakes will eventually help you reach the goals you've set for yourself as well. I would like to say thank you for watching the whole video. If you found it useful, you can leave a like. If you
I will
disagree
leave a
with what I
like, man.
said, you
What a good video, honestly. I like these types of videos where you kind of like get to really think and evaluate your life and kind of like realize where you did wrong, maybe where you weren't right. Anyways, we might start reacting to a bunch of random shit. So I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya later.